Welcome, Virgo, to your Uranus Cazimi 1 year forecast for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. For the first time in 78 years this month, the sun applies to Uranus in an exact, precise conjunction, which creates a Cazimi, Uranus in the disk of the sun. So the sun's raw power and radiance pours into Uranus, amplifying its qualities. But what about from a purely Virgoan viewpoint? It's an incredibly powerful event for us all, but I'm going to share your event chart, Virgo, and all the other planetary players, so you know by the end of the video exactly what's upcoming over the next 12 months in terms of your energy, work, relationships, and finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. But please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. So on the screen, your event chart, and there's the Sun and Uranus side by side. But where they are on this illustration is really key because they're the most elevated players in the Northern Hemisphere. And therefore, it's very much a sun dominant event. And the sun is about confidence. It can be about action, but it's certainly about manifesting our pure potential. And for you, this event is asking you to consider how you're connecting to the world at large. Because the sign of Gemini for you is your 10th house. It's where you can showcase your talent. It's also where you can seek extra visibility, but it's also where you may seek to change because of Uranus's desire for freshness. Change your approach to what you've been doing for a living or around any of your voluntary or local activities where you play some kind of leadership role. Now, Uranus on the sun brings the potential for brilliance and the potential for freshness, newness, but also perhaps breaking away from what we've done before. Uranus is the truth secrets, the ruler of the sky in mythology. It's also the higher octave ruler of Mercury, the ruler of the sign of Gemini, like your sign, which happens to be at home when this event occurs, giving it even greater presence and sparkle. So this is saying, if you want to change and do something different, or you work for yourself, or you have a creative talent that you want to receive greater visibility on, by going about things in a fresh and different and novel way, you have a much greater chance of doing that indeed. But let's just think about the role of Pluto over the last couple of years. It's been asking you to review some of those practical routines that have been very much part of your world for some time. The Sun and Uranus are in touch with that Pluto position in a trine. So if you are able to flex and evolve in those structures, that makes you much more open to new and different possibilities. If you resist the changes that are coming, it can create quite a lot of inattention, not least a Virgo, because none of us can control the environment we're working in because of technology, because of automation, because of robotics. So if we decide that we're going to stay with what we know because it's what we're familiar with, unfortunately, everything around us could be moving on by. So what we have is Pluto offers an opportunity with the Sun and Uranus if you embrace change. But if you want to change things up, but you don't know quite how to do it, or you want to do it only on your own terms, Mars in that very free-spirited ninth house, which can see you very attached to your philosophies, particularly in the earth sign of Taurus, where it's very much about values, but also perhaps your value around money and your self-worth. Nothing wrong with that, but you could encounter the harsh reality of the way the working environment is shifting. So that can create some tension, maybe tension with a colleague. Maybe you do want to change something and circumstances are not allowing you, and that can create resentment if you feel locked into a job or a role which doesn't really give you much sense of personal satisfaction. Always important for Virgos. But there are some blessings in this chart, not least Mars is linked to Venus. So when it comes to the potential for your social situation, or even romantically, don't be surprised if you find yourself being much more comfortable in the role of the leader. And even if that's not something in the past was necessarily something you sought to be, you may find yourself taking on the challenge, but actually truly enjoying it. But if there is somebody that you can connect to in a group, perhaps through a travel situation, perhaps through a shared outdoor interest, that is a relationship that can evolve. Also, this need or opportunity to raise your profile doesn't have to be just in the world of work in terms of commercial opportunities. It could be around performance, the arts. It may be around music. It could be around film or photography if you have your own channel. That beautiful cinematic Neptune to Uranus position means that you can project much higher your unique talent. So a lot of Virgos are very good at crafting and making. If there's a talent you've got that you feel could become a bigger part of your life, this chart suggests there's lots to go for. Also, your ruler Mercury is in a very stable link with the steady Saturn. Saturn in the eighth house for sure is saying over the next couple of years, you will have to be cautious with handling your long-term resources or any shared ones. But this suggests if you want to retrain or pivot in a new direction, as long as you do your research in a step-by-step and thorough way, that can also see you soaring into the limelight more successfully. The other thing to tell you about is the moon, crucial to how we feel, is going to see you paradoxically wanting to retreat into your own inner world at times over the next 12 months. So you may be driving back, you may have had a very successful meeting or produce some content online that's getting a lot of attention and likes, but there may be a part of you that still needs to cocoon yourself away at times, and that's absolutely fine. But what about an existing relationship where maybe you want to reposition your connection to the world, but the other person doesn't quite get it? I think that could show up through Venus's quincunx with Pluto. Because however much you try to align, if they don't see that some kind of change may be necessary and they're not supportive, that can be quite corrosive. And remember, Uranus can be the planet of freedom. And if you don't feel that someone's your biggest cheerleader, then you're going to be much more acutely aware of it. But if you've got a good relationship, it still may mean that your partner needs to lean into your needs to help juggle with all this. And these two are in a T square with the South and the North Node. Now, the North Node is very much about your spiritual direction of travel around relationships through to the end of July, the true North Node. The South Node is much more that part of you that can be a little bit of a perfectionist, certainly more comfortable retreating into what you know best. But actually, the node forges a stunning link with Mars and Venus. So if a relationship is on track and you get some support, your partner is flexing into the situation, I don't feel that that T square between these guys will have a major impact on the nodal axis. However, if that's not the case, it could see you think again. But just to say, you can download your free Uranus factoid, all about the astronomy, the mythology, and the astrology, including Uranus in each of the 12 zodiac signs and each of the 12 houses. Please see below for more. I've slashed the price of my personal horoscope reports. It's now 3 for the price of 1. The one you pay for is your life roadmap report, which helps us to understand the patterns that are played out in our lives so far, but get a more intimate understanding of them and how we can work better with those energies future forwards. The free charts is your 12-month transit forecast, totally unique to each person, but also your draconic soul analysis. So that's 3 for the price of 1. Please see below for more. I've been doing this full-time for 30 years, but I first became interested in astrology when I was 14. I really want to share about natal astrology to as many people as possible. So if you've yet to watch my deep dive of moon magic for May, which goes into each of the 5 lunations of the month. Please see that on the screen. If you've yet to watch your monthly general forecast for May, that's on the screen as well. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, it would be an absolute pleasure. Please check out my testimonials below. And also, have you taken advantage of my free daily horoscope? Fire to your device each morning, get your early day celestial pit stop for your ascendant, your sun, your moon, whoever you want to read it for. Please see below for more.